Welcome to the KINDER podcast.
Awesome. Say watch, subscribe.
Watch and
Subscribe. Do it.
subscribe.
And you'll get to see fun, cute videos of Royal and Pippa if you are on our Instagram too. And of course, following along.
And we're back.
On our podcast.
It's great to have you on the show. So, as always, we want to encourage you to like and subscribe to our podcast channel and comment. Follow the hashtag NK Loves People.
NK Loves People. So that's, again, our social cause and how you can help people and get involved with people in your community. It can be something as simple as holding the door. Royal is very good at that, for holding the door for people. He also likes to play with any babies that are around and make them laugh. And so just being good to people that are around you that you interact with every day. Because if we can love on more people, it's going to be a better place to live. Yeah.
Exactly.
So today we want to talk about how to get your business started and just some practical tips and ways to get going. You might have a good idea, or you might be sitting down with a friend for coffee and having the same conversation over and over saying, I have this really good idea and I want to get it started. So how do you do that?
I think obviously the first thing we got to start with is, what do you want to do, right?
What do you want to do?
What's your product? What's your service? How are you going to...
What's your idea? Or maybe you're doing something already and all the people around you are saying how wonderful it is and how you could really turn this into a business. So with us, our idea was baby clothes. And we started out small where we had the Etsy shop and I was hand sewing. Yep. So that's a big thing, is what's your idea? Your idea could be anything. It's a product or a service.
Here, do you want to say that? Okay.
So enter Pippa.
Yes.
So all of us here. Okay, so going back to that, it can be a product or a service. So you can have a number of products. You could do clothing like North Kinder. It could be women's, adults. You could do shoes. Good friends of mine, they are here from Edmonton. They started Poppy Barley and they've been quite successful doing that, which is luxury, ethical shoes. You could be doing any like jewelry. You could be doing hand lettering, artwork, or you could have a service. So you could provide something like woodworking.
Exactly, woodworking.
Well, I guess that's like a product and a service. Nail technicians, hairstyling, social media, photography, video, like we're doing right now. That's a big one. Or what Derek does, recording. That's a great service. So I think it's just, what do you want to do? And starting your own business, you need to be into it. Like, it's got to be something that you are excited about, because it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of long hours. So whatever your idea is, make sure that you are in love with it, because that is going to be your third child.
Something else, you can start off small, like we did. A lot of people would say, you know, when I started this business, I knew I was going to make $10 billion and I was going to be the most successful entrepreneur that ever existed. We did not do that. You had an idea.
Some billionaires, Derek? Or who's saying that? Who's saying that?
I did meet Daryl from Save on Foods.
You did. That's right.
Highlight of the life.
He's fantastic.
He is fantastic.
How did you meet him?
I actually saw him at the airport. He was coming off a plane. I was getting onto my plane. I'm like, hey, this is Daryl from Save on Foods. This is an amazing thing. Who gets to meet Daryl from Save on Foods?
No one does.
That's
I want to meet him.
So it's incredible. But anyways.
Just start small is what you're saying.
Start small. Don't get crazy. You can dream big, but just start small and start practical. Without very much investment, you got into your business and it was a small investment. You were providing the labor. So again, it wasn't a huge risk or anything right off the hop. But it's as you grow, then you can assess whether or not you want to take that risk.
And I think for different types of businesses, so let's say that you want to open a bakery. Well, come up with a signature item or a signature piece that you really like. Maybe you have a special type of cupcake or cookie or a special sort of design that you do. Okay. So come up with a signature item that's really sellable, that's significant to you, that people would know. For us, we have the North Kinder tree. So I'm hoping that as people see, they're going to look and find that label. They're going to see that tree, and that's kind of our signature factor when it comes to North Kinder. So if you want to do this bakery and you have these cupcake designs, you have a signature piece that you want to do. Once you start growing and you're gaining momentum and you're selling cookies and cupcakes to all your friends for their birthdays or weddings or anniversaries, then you could start a website And what I would do, this is just a specific example, is you're going to have to use a commercial kitchen space. Like that's like food regulation when you're looking at safety guidelines. See if you could use someone's on the weekends. That way you are producing and following all those guidelines that you need. So you don't need to jump in and get a bakery space and square footage and start paying for a lease and an overhead and furniture and employees. You don't have to go big. Start small. Find a way that you can get your foot in the door without that big, large investment up front. And then, of course, once you scale your business and you can have a website from there, you can get that going. You're going to get more customers. And when your customer base gets a lot larger, then you could look at getting like a full bakery that's on your own. And also think of like the fitness industry. If you are wanting to train clients, or maybe you're wanting to do weightlifting, use yourself like your journey and take photos and really let people follow along and they can see your progress, and then train some clients for free. Get some people in there, get, a handful of people that you're going to train from start to finish and show their progression. So then that way, once you start your website, once you launch your business, you have some great testimonials, you have some great pictures, and you have some clients that are going to say, hey, like this really worked for me. This method worked for me.
Yeah. When I first started recording and producing, that's what I did. I started out doing things for free. And that's how you got to do it. I think you got to start for free, see if there's something there. People will catch on. If you've got something there that's you're providing a good service or a good product, people will catch on to it. It's just small growth, good growth at the start, getting your skills kind of honed and going from there.
Well, when you started recording and producing, you didn't quit your daytime job.
No, at the time I didn't. No, I did it on the side.
You did on the side, right? Yep. So we still have your full-time job, so you still have the security. I know it's not like ideal to be like, I'm going to bring customers on for free, or I'm going to help friends for free. But if you're starting out, and especially if you're learning, you need to. You can't be charging people like a full professional wage if you're just starting out.
You're learning.
You're learning as you go. Same thing with North Kinder is I didn't charge like the price that I could. Like I started off a little bit lower because I was hand sewing, and even though it took me forever to make a pair of pants, I was probably getting paid like maybe not even $2 an hour, but we have to start somewhere. And then as I got faster at sewing and now with manufacturing, it makes it a lot easier. But you got to start somewhere, but we just knew to keep on going. Yeah. I think the big thing is being realistic about your expectations. I'm going to speak to moms or women out there. Like if you have a lot of other things going on, if you have a full-time job, but you want to start a photography business, be realistic about how much time you can spend on that. If you want to grow and scale your business, you might have to look at maybe cutting back your hours at your full-time job. Or if you're just happy as a photographer to do some family photo shoots on the weekends, maybe you just have, 1 or 2 clients a month, like be realistic going in and how much time you want to spend on it and how much effort and how much money you also want to put into it too. So after that, Derek, after you come up with our idea, what was the next big thing? You got to come up with a name. What are you going to name your baby?
Yes,
what are you going to name your company? What is your logo going to be? I know that there's some services that they can actually come up with a logo for you. Fiverr, is that what it is?
Yeah. So we didn't do that.
We didn't do that. No. But if you're thinking of that, you're like, man, I'm not creative in that way. I'm not good at digital, but I did have an idea. So I sketched mine out really roughly and I hired a digital graphic designer to provide me with our logo and our name. But if you have a name for your company and you're not sure of a logo, go on Fiverr and you can get some ideas, and they'll even give you like a couple to choose from, and you can see what kind of fits better with your brand. I get asked a lot, like, how did you come up with North Kinder? I wanted something that represented Canada. And I also wanted something that represented that we are children's wear, but nothing that was too specific. But I thought like Kinder, it did represent kids, but then also if we did want to transition into women's wear and men's wear, which we ended up doing, it fit for that too. So if I called it like North Baby, it wouldn't necessarily represent
something
that.
To think about.
Just something to think about. Like, where do you see your business going in the long term, and does that name represent that? So we did go to Google after that. We Googled up North Kinder. We saw what came up. What if there was another company out there named North Kinder? You don't know. What if there's someone out there that has your cupcake name or your recording name? Like, you want to make sure that you don't have the exact same name as someone else. So we went to Google. We also went to Instagram to make sure that Instagram handle was available, because that would be really sad. You could just fall in love with a name and then someone has it, or there's something super close to that product that you're doing and the name is super close. So you don't want to get confused, and you also don't want to step on anyone's toes in that. So we did the research there, and then Derek went the next step and got us incorporated.
You want to get that taken care of. Again, you want to do it in steps.
Well,
you want to be at that point where if you need to incorporate, I mean, you need to get a business license. There's all kinds of things involved when you're running a business. I mean, I'm sure.
But if you have an Etsy shop, you don't need a business license to go to your home.
Right.
Or if you're doing cupcakes and you're just selling it to your friends and family, you don't need a business license for that, or your kitchen.
So there's steps.
But we knew that we wanted to scale our business, and so right from the start, we did go to the lawyer and get it incorporated.
Right.
So
we went in court, we got the company incorporated, and then we went to the trademark process, which you need to find a trademark lawyer.
But your lawyer that you deal with, they should know who a trademark lawyer.
They'll be able to
help you.
So it's kind of a specific thing. So that's the next step. And then
it's not that cheap. So if you're looking into it, be upfront with your lawyer and just say, we want to incorporate. What does that look like? How much time is that going to take? What are the costs? What's the process? The fees per year, right? Because there's also like legal fees when you're looking at minutes and that kind of thing. And for trademarking, do you want to just trademark in Canada, the US, globally? What that looks like, what the process takes. So just ask them up front before you jump in, and then you get a bill and you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay this? I'm going to have to sew so many baby pants.
Yes.
I'm never going to be able to pay for this bill. So just be realistic about that.
So after you've got your trademark, your incorporation, what else?
If you go that route, if you want to just stay, if that's the level that you want to be, and you want to just kind of keep everything under one roof.
All right.
But the next thing after that is you want to set a budget. So how much is it going to take to get you started? For me, I had to buy a sewing machine, fabric, trim, tags. So some of those costs. So that was roughly, for me, it came to around $2,000. And what Derek said, he's like, are we willing to lose that amount of money? Like always put up the amount of money that, what if it doesn't work out? Are you okay with losing that amount of money? $2,000. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money. But at the same time, if you're going for it,
machine at the end of the day.
I do. I still have a sewing machine.
Total waste, yeah.
I have 2 sewing machines now. Like we still have that in property that we could always sell. So you got to look at like, what are you comfortable with risking?
That's the other nice thing. If you're doing something that you love to do, you might buy that stuff anyways.
Yeah.
The gear that goes along with that service. So if it works out, it works out. If not, you'd want that anyways, right? It's associated with
Or if it's a
recording.
different service, like going back to the fitness one, if you're doing fitness, then it's your time that you're investing. Mm-hmm. So it's maybe that time where you could have been, earning an income at a different job, but you just have to look at what risk is that worth to you. The North Kinder sign is back because I had to steal it back from my kids. So if you're watching along on the podcast, it is a little bit different, but that's okay. We just roll with it around here.
Right.
So the last thing we were saying is that you got to look at your investment. The next thing is how are you going to make your service? How are you going to do your product? Like, how are you going to find it? What are you going to do?
Right.
For us, for North Kinder, we do clothing. So after I couldn't keep up with the demand of sewing, that's when we took that leap and went to manufacturing. And this one isn't an easy one either. Like you have to find the one that fits best for you. And I do sometimes have people ask me like, who's your manufacturer? I'll be like, well, it's what worked for us. Like you need to go and do the research and find that manufacturer, go and visit them and see if it's something that you can have a good working relationship.
Right.
Like if you're woodworking, like where are you going to get your wood? Like where is the consistency going to be in that? You can find a supplier too, so that you're getting the same types of product, same types of raw goods over and over, so that it's not different if you want to have a continuous item. So how do you provide your service, Derek, for people?
Well, I mean, it's, obviously you need a studio space, you need the recording gear, the bare necessities even just to get things going.
So you need a computer.
You need a computer. You need
an
a good computer. You need an interface.
What's an interface do you recommend any?
Universal Audio makes an interface called the Apollo. It's a pro interface, but I didn't start there. Actually, I started on something much smaller where you could just record a couple tracks at a time and you work your way up. Or rentals are a great way to...
That's true.
Rentals are a great way. I mean, microphones are very expensive, so you can rent microphones, you can rent the interfaces. You can make it work on a limited budget.
And you don't need to have a commercial studio.
No.
Right? Like we started
nowadays
out
you can do it in your house if you have a decent acoustic
and some sound
space.
panels. Yeah.
There's ways to make it work. And then of course
marketing is huge. We go on Instagram, we're doing the podcast because we also want to talk about our products. We do events. We want to meet our customers face to face, and we want to talk to them and do pop-up shops. And I do actually really like those networking events. Like I just got a chance to do the Atelier Collective and do the Team Jilly brunch, and it was fantastic. You get to meet other women that have their own small businesses or running their things, whether it was a yoga shop, photography, flowers, just all kinds of women that are pursuing their passion and doing their business, and how just connecting with them and getting ideas.
When you were at that event, you had women come up to you and they were asking you questions about how you started or what you're doing. What were the questions that came up? What's the common theme?
I think a lot of people, even when they have their full-time job, they might really like it. Like, I really like teaching and I thought that was great, but I wanted to do something else, like something that was my own. I think we are born to be creative, and I think we all have, even though I'm a linear person, I'm more mathematical and systematic. Derek is more, I just did this. If you're not sure what I'm doing, it's kind of like jazz hands. If you're more like Derek and you have this beautiful mind, he's very creative and he always has tons of ideas. But for me, I just wanted something that was kind of my own and my own thing. And so that's the question I get, is like, how do I start? And that's why the theme of this podcast was, a person came up to me and said, like, I just really feel like I want to do something else. I want to do something else for myself. I really like my day job, but I want to do something on the side. And I was like, well, what do you love doing? Like, what do you think you want to do? And she's like, I really like to write a book. And I said, that is awesome. Like, if that's in your heart and you want to write a book and you feel like you have something to share, but to write a whole book, that seems like a large task. And so my recommendation was to start just blogging. And an easy way to do that is Squarespaces is really easy to use. When I first started my very, very first blog, when I kind of started North Kinder, I got a Squarespace account, and I think they even have free ones that you can try. And it's really easy to use. It's easy to upload pictures. And I said, why don't you just blog a little bit every day about your experiences or the things or the topic that you want to write on? And then that way you can kind of get a following or a base, or maybe some of those things that you do are pretty funny. And so you can share the funny stories as well. She's like, I could be like Carrie Bradshaw and I could put all my blogs into a book. I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. So get there, just start writing, just start somewhere. Yeah. Even if it's on Instagram, you can start writing your poems or your poetry and writing it on Instagram and putting it out there for people to read. And then you compile that together as a book. So it's just starting small, like you can get there.
Yeah. Starting small and just,
letting it grow from there.
Faithful in the small things and letting it grow, into the bigger things. Everyone has to start small. And that's if it's something you like to do, you're going to do it anyways.
And you should have a goal. Like, when I started, even with the hand sewing, I had a goal. Like, I had a halfway goal. I have an endpoint goal. We're only halfway through, like, where I want to be, which is great, but it's still fun. I'm still enjoying the journey. You do need to set those goals and set that timeline. A realistic thing too for business is you want to set weekly goals and monthly goals, because sometimes the days can drag on. But if you're truly coming at it just from a creative side and you just want to do it to have a creative outlet, then that's different. But if you are trying to monetize and make money doing your business, then you do have to set weekly goals. And that could look like, I'm going to get a new client this week. I'm going to get a new customer this week. For me, maybe I'm going to try and get another wholesale account within that week or within that month, whatever fits. So if you're like, I want to double my sales this month, what's that going to look like? Are you going to find maybe an influencer that you could reach out to that could promote your product? Are you going to do maybe an Instagram giveaway to create some buzz around your item? So you can set those goals, but then you have to say, well, how I'm going to reach this. And not all the goals that we set worked out, or not all the ideas that we set worked out, but you have to try. Yeah. Just try.
You have to try everything, and we've done many different things, and you find out what works.
Like, we've done different things, like send product to influencers. Yeah. We've done giveaways. We've done events. Yeah, Instagram, things, you can increase, boost your posts. So there is different ways that you can do that to market your item. You just have to look at that goal. And a lot of times what Derek and I do is just sit down and brainstorm, how can we get there? Yeah. And sometimes it takes longer than we want it to, and that's okay too.
So in summary, what can people take away? I mean, what's the summary points? What's the 5 steps?
I'd say the 5 steps, I don't know if we have 5 steps or 10, but number 1 would be, what's your idea? Number 2 would be, what's your name? Like, what is your name, your logo? Number 3 would be, how are you going to bring that product to market or service to market? Number 4 would definitely be, who's your customer? I think we missed that one. Like, who's your customer and how are you going to reach that target demographic? For us, it's moms, families, people with small children. So how are we going to market to your customer base? Number 5 would be, well, what's your investment? What are you willing to put out What are you willing to risk to get this going? Number 6 is marketing. Like what I did is I product tested with all my friends first and said, hey, do you guys like this? Would you buy this? That's a big one. Would you buy this? Would you buy this service? Would you buy this product? Go and ask real people.
For sure.
If it's a service that nobody wants or you're not getting good feedback, don't do it. Like just don't. Come
Be
up with
realistic
another
with
idea,
selling. Yes.
right? Or if you have a product and it is not selling and you are trying and you're grinding it out and you're at, these trade shows and these events and no one's taking it, then maybe you need to reevaluate what your product is.
And maybe it's just a tweak on the product.
Tweak on the product or something. It doesn't have to be a give up, but you need to just reevaluate what's going on.
Yeah, you can always find something constructive or
totally
useful out of criticism or whatever it is. You just got to have a great attitude about it and accept it and look for the key things that are really helpful.
I've had people give me, tips or advice and I was like, I never thought about that. I should totally do that. Or it was something that I knew should have been worked on and I was in the process of working on it. So we do appreciate that. 7 would be, how do you want to grow this? Like be realistic in your expectations. How much time do you want to spend on it? And that would be equivalent to your growth. Number 8, we said trademark, incorporate if that's the way that you want to go. And then I think 9 and 10, I'll put them together, would be how are you going to scale that business? How are you going to get more clients? How are you going to get more customers? When it comes to us, well, we want to get more customers, more stores, and then we can grow that. And how can we get our product into more people's hands?
You got to know where you want to go and be realistic and don't let people pressure. If you don't want it to scale, if you just want to do it because you want to do it and this is where you want to be, you got to stay in the lane that you feel like you are called to be in or you want to be in,
Well, even me, I want everyone to have North Kinder clothes, of course. I think they're soft and beautiful. And if you're watching, this is our new color. It's coming out in August. It's called Bloom. It's like a beautiful kind of like a muted pink color, I call it. But I also am with my kids full time. So I have to be realistic about that too. I'm not doing North Kinder 100% of the day, every day. I'm doing the kids. So I think it'll look different once they go to school. We'll probably be able to put more time into it, but I'm also being realistic about our time and our growth and what we can do into that. But you can start. You can do it. Start with that idea. Get on that website. Find that name. And just start blogging, start Instagramming, just start.
Start somewhere.
It doesn't matter if you have 1 follower or 2 followers, or if your only follower is like your dog's account. Do it. Just start and you'll be so happy that you did because you'll just keep thinking what if and you'll get there.
Exactly.
And of course, email us, message us about your journey. We want to hear.
Comments. Again, like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Yeah.
And don't
give
forget,
us comments,
hashtag North Kinder loves people and we love you.
Loves people.
Sorry, yes.
NK loves people.
Hashtag NK loves people, and it goes nice on this sweater. But this is my own custom sweater. We want to hear your journey and how you are doing this. And again, the focus of our business is we want to scale it so we can keep being good to more and more people and helping and supporting more people. So when you get behind North Kinder, you're getting behind the whole community. We're really helping out.
All right, till next time.